KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the Cnmi. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Starting now on your news leader, charged with murder, Rudy Kanata and Joyner Sked appear in court. We've got details coming up. Also, local law enforcement agencies come together adopting the first ever uniform policy for investigating the use of deadly force. And Cnmi Governor Ralph Torres has had enough with the House investigation into his expenditures.
Hafide and good evening. I'm Tyler Matsanani. A motions hearing was held today for Joyner Sked and Rudy Kanata before Superior Court Judge Vern Perez. The two have been charged for the April 2020 murder of former Umatic Mayor Daniel Sanchez. During today's hearing, a detective from the Criminal Investigation Division testified that when he arrested Kanata, he was calm and kept blaming Sked for the murder, saying it was all her fault. The trial is scheduled for sometime next month. Matthew Manabusin appeared in court today for violating his pretrial release conditions, specifically related to his electronic monitoring. The violations weren't specified during the hearing. His third-party custodian, however, was removed as it was discovered he was not properly supervising Manabusin at all times. The TPC telling the court, quote, "I don't know what to say. I did my best. I thought I was doing well," unquote. The hearing on the electronic monitoring violations was continued until December 16th. Manabusin's trial was set for February 9th. He is accused of manslaughter and aggravated assault for the death of Joshua Meno. Back in April, Meno's body was found along Swamp Road in Dededo. 31-year-old Bruce Matthew Unchenko Cruz was arrested yesterday after leading police on a speed chase that lasted more than 3 hours long. Officers attempted to conduct a traffic stop in Hagåtña after noticing the vehicle Cruz was driving was reported stolen. He was able to elude officers twice, but was finally apprehended after colliding with a parked car at the Shell gas station in Barrigada. Cruz also collided with a patrol car while attempting to flee. He later admitted to officers that the car didn't belong to him and that he just snapped. He was charged with theft of a motor vehicle, third-degree robbery, and criminal mischief. Public Health held a press briefing today to update the community on the status of pediatric vaccines. So far, 567 children between the ages of 5 to 11 have been vaccinated and no adverse reactions have been reported. Public Health is still looking into giving the shots at schools next week, Saturday, November 20th. Interim Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Bob Leon Guerrero.
We'd like to have all the 5 to 11-year-olds get vaccinated. But reality is that some parents are going to be hesitant about getting the vaccines, and so they, there's going to be a certain percentage of 5 to 11-year-olds that won't receive it, and so the big events that that Chima was alluding to is that sometime next week we're going to have 3 vaccination sites, one at Ugadu, one at Tidron, and probably one at FD to accommodate as many students as possible.
For parents interested in getting their children vaccinated early, the UOG Fieldhouse is having vaccinations tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Minors must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. To schedule your child's appointment, go to tinyurl.com/vaxguam. Public Health's Office of Epidemiology released its latest weekly data on COVID-19 surge trends. According to report, COVID-19 testing this week shows a 13% decrease from last week, as has the test positivity rate. The number of cases per day is also decreasing. The CAR score has now fallen below 10. Since the cases are decreasing, the 7-day rolling average rates by age are also continuing to decrease or remain steady. The 18 to 39 age group has now jumped to the highest rate, followed by the 12 to 17 age group. These age groups are affected by either workplace and household exposures. We're slowly seeing the hospitalizations decrease. In the last week, an average of 35% of the daily cases report experiencing symptoms, with the majority asymptomatic. And finally, there is a decrease in both the vaccinated and unvaccinated case rates, but the risk of being unvaccinated continues to be 2 times more than the vaccinated. 1 in 6 residents on Guam are currently affected by diabetes, and starting this weekend, KUAM will launch a 6-part series dedicated to promoting awareness about the illness that has impacted so many people on island. The week-long series, in partnership with Al Health, kicks off on Weekend Edition in commemoration of World Diabetes Day on November 14th. And then every day next week, we will have a panel of local and global experts joining the Link team at 9 a.m. discussing topics such as diet, exercise, disease monitoring, medical care, current technology, and future technology for diabetes patients that can enhance and impact their quality of life. The campaign culminates on Friday with a town hall on the Link. During the 1-hour program, you can call in your questions to 671-637-0094 or post your questions on our Facebook live stream. History in the making, as a first ever uniform policy for investigating the use of deadly force by law enforcement has been formally adopted by the island law enforcement agencies. According to a release from Attorney General Legislature Camacho, recent officer-involved shootings resulting in death or serious injury led to the discovery that no comprehensive use of force policy was in place. Under the new policy, an independent investigative team was established. The team will investigate officer-involved incidents, and a review of those findings would determine if presentation to a grand jury is warranted. AG Camacho also said officers will soon receive standardized de-escalation training.
An encounter between law enforcement and someone who is either having mental health issues or in a crisis and is armed with anything other than a firearm. So a knife, just kind of acting erratically. And what they teach them, I believe there's a tactical component where you have 2 officers who are responding. You have one who's there to talk them through. And instead of meeting force with force, to try to get them to calm down.
Camacho adds the ICAT training, integrating communications and tactics, would probably have yearly certification requirements. The Navy has provided justification for keeping thousands of acres of excess lands, and it looks like Guam may never get these parcels back from the federal government. Here's more.
The 2019 National Defense Authorization Act set up a formal process for Guam governors to request from the Department of Defense the return of excess lands, and the Department of the Navy has sent its justification for retaining thousands of acres of federal lands. The latest justifications in response to Governor Leon Guerrero's 2019 letter to former Navy Secretary Ken Braithwaite. Leon Guerrero wrote the letter to comply with the NDAA mandate. Then the response, a 3-page list of retention justifications, is provided for 19 separate parcels of DoD land. Properties on this list include 1,366 acres at Nictam's Barragata, which the Navy said is necessary to support DoD operations across the region and because the parcel is used for Marines aviation training. The Navy also keeping 80 acres at the former Marbo School site, 3 acres at the former Marbo Power Plant and Substation, and an acre by the Jigo Fire Station for operations at the future Urban Combat Training Range Complex. 70 acres of land between the Harmon Cliff Line and Route 3A will also be retained by the Navy because the report says military use of this parcel makes it unsuitable for release as a conservation land, since it lies within a potential accident zone for Anderson Air Force Base's Northwest Field. 20 acres near Start's golf course will also be kept because it's necessary to, quote, meet DoD habitat conservation and recovery requirements and Camp Blas requirements. Camp Blas, the new Marine base being constructed off of Route 3A. Further south, DoD will also retain nearly 60 acres at Dandan for continued use as a helicopter training area for U.S. Pacific Fleet units. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
DoD also said it is open to providing easements to Gov Guam on 11 different land parcels, to include the Oroti, SRF, Anderson, and Barrigada substations, among others. Meanwhile, Speaker Therese Terlahi has scheduled an oversight hearing with the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission and Land Management relative to pending transfers, deeds, leases, and licenses between Gov Guam and the federal government. The hearing is on November 18 at 5 p.m. Cannabis rules and regulations are one step closer to final approval by the Guam Legislature after the Cannabis Control Board unanimously voted today to send changes the body made based on recommendations from the Attorney General back to the AG for review. If the AG approves the changes, the adult use cannabis rules and regulations will then make their last stop at the Legislature. Senators will have 90 days to approve the rules and regulations. They can pass them as is or opt to hold public hearings and make changes to rules. But if they do that, they must pass the rules and regs in bill form. And once again, we invite you to voice your view with our daily question across our social media pages. Today we ask, what are your thoughts on the governor traveling to New York to meet with rating agencies? We'll share responses on Monday's The Link. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
And instant prizes from Foot Locker and Burger King. Win the best-selling 2021 Toyota Corolla LE, the crossover SUV 2021 Toyota RAV4 LE, and the dynamic luxury SUV 2021 BMW X1. The more you shop, the more chance to win. In the Micronesia Malls, shop and win.
Yaman, reintroducing the Tuman pans with plenty rice. Every day of the week, Tuman Jamaican Grill has a special for you for $20. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays features jerk chicken and ribs. Thursdays, the sweet and tangy Jamango barbecue ribs. Friday, check out what we caught for you in our fried local catch. And finally, our weekend family platter is only $50. That's $9 off. Yaman, Tuman pans. Call to order 647-3000 or 4000. Yaman Jamaican Grill.
We value relationships because when we commit,
I love you guys until you're 80, until you're 90, until you're 100, forever.
We are in it for the long run, so you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because when we commit to relationships, we never stop caring. Calvo's Select Care, health care that is always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. The Cnmi legislature is impacted by a positive COVID-19 case among their staff this week. House Speaker Edmund Villagomez says most of their staff are scheduled to be tested today. There are at least 2 COVID-19 cases identified on the Hill.
We are encouraging members and staff to get tested and vaccinated and to have those information available upon request. We also emphasize that if you are contacted by the COVID-19 task force through the contact tracing, please really be strict about it and follow it down to the T.
Current rules allow virtual hearings and voting as long as the members are calling within the Northern Marianas. The House and Senate remains the only branch of government without any sort of mandates. For now, he says they are limiting access to the building so that essential work can continue. Cnmi Governor Ralph Torres wants to see an end to the House committee investigating his expenditures. Tomas Manglotnia reports.
So I wrote a letter, and my letter is basically saying that, hey, you're dragging in these employees that are innocent. You're asking them questions about their opinion. They're asking them about their not even scope of work on their line.
In his November 8 letter, he says no governor has experienced this level of harassment and slander in the history of the Cnmi, and Torres proposed written questions submitted by the committee by November 15.
We need to stop this. We need to have a deadline on this. I gave them a time frame.
He's had enough.
And stop dragging all of our innocent government employees and put anxiety to them and their families. And so you have your questions, you have your documents, write me the letter and I'll answer those.
So will the governor ever appear before the committee?
I didn't say there's no chance. I'm just saying that you got to stop this. There got to be a timeline on this. So there's no timeline for them. So I wrote that letter and I asked that we respect that process. So I wrote that letter and I'll wait for their response.
In an interview on The Link earlier this week, Committee Chair Selena Babata says they plan to wrap the hearings up by the end of the year. Tomas Manglotnya for KUAM News.
This week, Cnmi Governor Ralph Torres signed a House bill into Public Law 2212 that amends the Commonwealth Code to authorize civil claims for child sexual abuse to be commenced at any times and for other purposes.
We need to focus on the victims. To all the victims out there, please step up and make your voice heard. We are here. We're here to protect you. We love you.
The author of the bill is Representative Joseph Lee Guerrero. Saipan Mayor David Apatang sits down with Tomas Manglotnya on The Link with the latest community projects and his run for Lieutenant Governor. Here's more.
The mayor of Saipan is leading the charge on many issues impacting residents on island, and now that includes the entire Cnmi, as he announced he's running for Lieutenant Governor alongside sitting Lieutenant Governor Arnold Palacios, who announced his gubernatorial aspirations.
We've been in this government for the longest time. It's been in the legislature. I've been in the legislature for over 10 years. I worked for this government for over 35 years.
With just a year left of his term, he says he's focused on turning the government around.
Politics is politics. We'll do politics aside, but Lieutenant Governor and I will continue to do our job as we were elected to do. Let's just be humble. You know, let's not criticize each other, because we'll see each other anyway, everywhere we turn on this island.
Apatang and Palacios are running as independents after they considered receiving the endorsement from the Democratic Party. Tomas Manglotnya for KUAM News.
An ongoing promotion by the Guam Visitors Bureau targeting the Korean market is already paying dividends. GVB Vice President Jerry Perez updated directors during a board meeting today about Thursday's Guam Again trade show and a week-long familiarization tour for Korean travel agents and social media influencers.
I think this function that we held this past few days, in my mind, is a success. This is some of the social media stuff that was put out by participants while they're here. While they're here, they're actually doing Instagram and so forth. So you can see that it's already starting to have some impact.
Perez describes the Korean market as the low-hanging fruit right now as the Seoul government continues to ease travel restrictions. The board today approved another $890,000 for the Guam Again campaign.
Target market is primarily family, honeymoon couples, baby boom, FITs, potential travelers. In short, casting our net every segment that we can get a hold of.
The Korean marketing budget will cover the remainder of this first quarter through the second quarter next year. On Friday, 2 Guam Community College students received $2,000 worth of scholarships from the Felix M. and Governor Carlos G. Camacho Scholarship Foundation. It was established in 1985 as a charitable organization for educational purposes that promotes the interest and welfare of deserving residents seeking college degrees. Simon Sanchez High School alum Migueli Garcia and Cagman High School alum in Saipan Ira May Nagalangalo were the recipients of the award, and both are working toward an associates in science in their chosen field of study. Garcia and Nagalangao both will have to maintain their eligibility for the scholarship they received for 2 years. The $2,000 will be distributed in increments of $500 per semester. The Mayor's Council of Guam has joined Harvest House and Child Protective Services in recruiting individuals to welcome children in need to their homes, as the island is in dire need of foster families. Here's more on this report with KUAM's Isaiah Again.
There are 500 children in some type of foster care on Guam currently, which was higher than the 300 reported in April, but there is only 36 active licensed foster families that are able to take care of them. PD Mayor Jesse Alec, who is also the Mayor's Council of Guam president, said that the body are stepping up to the plate to help address the situation.
And so the Mayor's Council voted on it, and we decided that it was best that instead of having a Christmas party, that we would focus our efforts on putting a campaign together to recruit at least 19 foster families. And so it is called the Gift of Family.
To date, 85 foster children are placed among the 36 licensed homes. Mayor Alex says the goal is to recruit at least 19 families from across the island by Christmas.
We're doing it because we feel that there is a need. There's a greater need to recruit more families for our foster care system.
Child Protective Services is in need of foster parents as referrals, which are reports of suspected maltreatment, continue to come in on a daily basis. There were 450 foster kids reported in May, but only 72 was in licensed foster homes, while the rest are in relative or non-relative placements among other shelter programs like Sanctuary Incorporated and Alley Shelter, just to name a few. Mayor Melissa Tavares of Dededo said that there is more that needs to be done, and those programs aren't cutting it.
And and the shelters that we have, the emergency shelters for children, are not enough.
Mayor Tavares noted that the MCOG is determined to recruit as many foster families, whether it be for emergency placement or long-term care. Since the start of the drive, Mayor Alec pointed out that there is a lot of villagers interested in joining the movement.
And I always say it because I really am very grateful that Mayor Tavares jumped on, because she is the largest village, and she's got a lot. She can tell you stories, but I have also received a lot of inquiries and just questions, and that's what we want.
The drive is supposed to wrap up in December, but if the foster care situation does not improve, the MCOG plans to extend it through next year.
If by December we need to continue the campaign, we will continue through May 2022.
Meanwhile, Harvest House hosts informational meetings for those interested in becoming a foster parent. Through those meetings, the nonprofit goes over the application process, requirements, and benefits of opening your heart and home to the island's children in need of placement. Interested individuals can call CPS at 671-475-2653, your respective village mayors, and Harvest House online at harvesthouseguam.org. Report for Guam's News Network.
It's been a little over a month since the formation of the Guam Contractors Association Young Professionals. Joan Charfaras takes a closer look at the organization's mission to entice and encourage middle and high schoolers to look at the craft profession.
It was in the midst of the COVID pandemic where a group of individuals would meet virtually to discuss the labor shortages in Guam, specifically in the construction industry. These conversations would lead to the creation of the Guam Contractors Association Young Professionals, an offshoot of the Association of Builders and Contractor Young Professionals. GCAYP Chairman Phil Letty II.
Luckily for us, the board of directors at the Guam Contractors Association was very supportive, and after we revised our missions and values and our goals, they were very quick to back us, and we just launched September 1st, so registration season is open, and we're looking forward to and excited to welcoming new members. We are going to concentrate on the GCA member companies, but we are welcoming non-member representatives as well. You do have to be under the age of 40, and you don't specifically have to be in a construction organization, because there are many auxiliary services on island that support construction agencies, whether it be accounting, office equipment like my business, or other firms that support the overall success of construction industry companies.
Letty, who is a sales and marketing director for Guam Copier, says they are looking for young individuals who wish to further their career and establish a networking channel with goal purposes. Networking, he says, is
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the Cnmi, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
There will come a time when people talk about how Hyundai makes the best car on the road. Now seems about right. The technologically advanced Hyundai Elantra is the 2021 North American Car of the Year.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Guam Elite Basketball is back, getting kids onto the court again. After weeks of time off, players in the U8, 10, 12, 14, and U16 divisions are putting in work at the National Training Center in Teason.
I've been with Guam Elite for about 4 years now, and when I started with Guam Elite, I couldn't even dribble behind my back or in between my legs. And I think from that point to now, it's been a long journey, but the journey's not over. I still got a long way to go.
For more info about practice times and dates, check out Guam Elite Basketball on Instagram or log on to guamelitebasketball.com.
It's helped me develop my skills and my shot through all the practices. The coaches are very, they're good coaches because they've been players before, so they understand and they know what they're doing. They help develop each person individually and really focus on you.
Coach Dom Sablan says the support of the parents has been great, having the trust in the program and knowing that the coaches and volunteers have protocols in place to keep the athletes safe.
The culture and approach of the game of basketball has really shifted on Guam, due in large part to our national program, rising the ranks and, providing more training opportunities for these kids. So, we're coming in and just doing our part in trying to, develop the game of basketball. But these kids have come a long way and, year after year, you're just seeing that development and that growth get better over time.
Now for some programming news, Monday, November 15th on the stations of KUAM. NFL on CBS, 4 in the morning, the first of 2 games for you. The Cleveland Browns at the New England Patriots. Keep it locked to KUAM TV 11, 7:25 in the morning. More NFL on CBS. The Seattle Seahawks at Green Bay Packers. Change the channel over to KUAM TV 8, NBC Sunday Night Football. Kansas City Chiefs at Las Vegas Raiders.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
You are everything that matters to me.
And I promise to do whatever it takes to keep you healthy, to be comfortable, and to be free. I love you. As long as we're together, I'll always make sure that home will always be our best place to breathe.
At the Vocal Box, we understand that everyone is different, which is why our meal plans are designed to fit different lifestyles. Whether you need easy and convenient meals because you're on the front lines, breaking personal records, or just trying to live a healthier lifestyle, we have a meal plan for you. Our meals are made with the most fresh, all-natural ingredients that are always grain, gluten, and refined sugar-free. Spend less time cooking and more time living. Call us at 922-BOCA, visit our website, or stop by our cafe in Hagåtña to start your meal subscription today. The Boca Box, real nutrition made daily.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday on November 12th to Sienna Lynn Adriano Villacorta. A happy birthday to you and lots of hugs and kisses coming from Mom, Dad, Roan, Jack, Mazzy, Grandpa, Grandma, Uncle Ken, Auntie Callan, Jacob, Isaac, Sarah, Silver, Serena, and Chewy. They say we love you so much. And you know, I have a sneaking suspicion it is an extra awesome birthday for Sienna. Also, happy birthday to Marty D. Sablan. Happy blessed birthday, Vix. Love and hugs from Bicolus. We hope you enjoy your special birthday. And belated birthday wishes going out to Linnell Rose de Plata, who was born on the 10th. Happy birthday number 12 to our princess. I miss you so much, and I pray to see you soon. This birthday shout out, which is extra special, comes from your daddy. And also happy birthday to Joseph Thomas Regis Perez. Lahihu Joseph, it's been a year that the awesome Almighty Father has given you back to me. Amen. We are so very proud and hopeful. Life is good. And happy birthday to you, coming from Mr. B, Luke, Logie, Jason, Rupin Jr., and the entire familia. They say congratulations and happy birthday.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. And it is that time of the week where we announce the winner of a yummy Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake.
All right, everybody, this week's owner of a Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club is a birthday baby that we just mentioned, Sienna Lynn Adriano Villacorta. Congratulations to you once again. We hope you have an extra awesome birthday, and we'll be in touch with you to let you and your family know when you can pick up your ice cream cake. It's delicious, so have a happy birthday.
That's going to do it for us here on Primetime. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night and a safe weekend, Guam.
The One Micronesia podcast is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Hafaday, Mogasin, and Ranim. And welcome back to another episode of the One Micronesia podcast. And in this one, man,